Hey everyone, thank you all so much for joining me. If you're new to my channel, my name is Nat, and I'm back from Japan. Thank you all for your patience. I know we didn't manage to upload any videos while we were traveling, but there are still a few that need to be edited. So for the next little while, our videos might be out of order or in some kind of mixed up order. But since the Sephora Spring Sale is coming up soon, I thought we'd finally do a full face of Sephora products. Some of these products I've used for a long time, and some of them are new to me. I actually picked them up at the last Sephora Savings Event, which was in the fall of last year. But during the Sephora Spring Savings Event, the entire Sephora collection will be 30% off, no matter what tier you are. As for dates, it goes from April 10th to April 20th. And if you're Rouge like me, you get early access starting on April 10th. I'm pretty sure it opens up to VIB and Beauty Insiders on the 14th, if I'm not mistaken. So if you're Rouge, you get 20% off, VIBs get 15% off, and Beauty Insiders get 10% off. The code to use at checkout is Spring Sale in all caps and in one word. Let's get started. First up, we're going to go in with the Sephora Smooth and Blur Primer. Diffuses the look of imperfections. This is a silky whipped primer that instantly reduces the appearance of pores, fine lines, and wrinkles, and preps skin with a blurred effect. Lightweight, non-greasy formula enriched with stabilized vitamin E and ginkgo extract known to protect skin from environmental factors. This one is not new to me. I got it a while ago, but I don't remember what my thoughts are. So let's give it a go. This is what it looks like. It appears to have a bit of pigment to it, but I don't remember if the pigment stays or not. It's very smoothing feeling. I think I remember liking it. It does a pretty nice job of smoothing everything out. But for me, if you guys didn't know, I'm oily. So I think that's what my issue with this primer, is that it doesn't keep my oils at bay. And as we're moving into warmer weather, I need something that keeps me as matte as possible. But the feel of it is quite nice. Alright, for foundation, we are finally trying out the Best Skin Ever 16-Hour Wear Natural Finish Foundation. Mine is in the shade 15N, and I'm actually quite excited to finally get this on my face. My daughter's been using this since the fall, and she quite likes it. I'm just going to pump some onto the back of my hand to start, and I'm just going to pick it up with an F01 from Singe Beauty. Let's start in my nose area, because that's where I have the most redness. This shade should work out because if I remember correctly, I went in store to shade match myself. Yeah, see, I think this shade is a pretty good match. Now, because my eyebrows are already done and I have a tiny forehead, I'm just going to use Nikki's N16 to do my forehead. Or at least the area closest to my eyebrows, just for a little bit more precision. You know, every time I take a break or I go a period without filming, I always wonder if I remember what I'm doing, if I can even film, it's just a weird thing. And I'm actually super happy to finally be putting like a full face of makeup on, because jet lag was unreal. And I don't know if I mentioned already, but we've been home for about a week. And this whole week, well, I was kind of out of commission for the first few days coming home. But since feeling better, and going back to work, I kind of just did my eyebrows and mascara. I haven't experienced jet lag like this in quite a long time. I think the last time was when I went to Paris for work. But then, yeah, that trip was crazy because I came home from Paris, and then the very next day we left for Mexico for a family vacation. So that was a quick turnaround. I might have already mentioned that story, but okay, so my first impression of this foundation is that it's very light. It is very lightweight. I have a little friend here Because mainly the reason why I don't like to wear makeup after returning home from a trip, especially a big long trip, my skin is like wonky. I think from travel, the airplane, air, that kind of thing. And Japan was super dry, which made my skin kind of dry and flaky, like after we returned home. Plus, like I said, jet lag was crazy. So even though I was mostly functional, I wasn't quite myself. Like, still kind of zombie-like, still kind of, you know, random moments of the day where I'm like, I think I'm going to pass out or fall asleep. I think I quite like the finish on this foundation too. Have you guys started building your cart? I started. My cart is kind of out of control and ridiculous. But my plan is, after I've placed my order, we'll do a haul video and then we'll probably do a full face look using the products that I picked up. That's my plan anyway. And I was thinking in that video is when I'll talk more about our trip to Japan. But who knows? Some stories about Japan might pop into my head during this video. The main thing is I'm trying to get this video done as quick as possible so that it's not a super long video. Because like I was saying, we have quite a few videos that are older that need to be edited, blah, blah, blah. But here it is. I think this is quite pretty. Like, for it being a foundation and not a skin tint, like it is very lightweight. And that's what I like. I just prime my eyes quickly because I don't have a Sephora brand eye primer. I use my go-to MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. But to set my eyes, we're going to use the Blur It Loose Setting Powder. And this is in the shade Brightening Pink. Oh my goodness, look how cute. Tiny little puff. And how do you open this? Oh, it's got the plastic cover. So I know it's a personal preference. Some people don't like to set their eye primer, but like I said, I'm oily, so I need to. This way my eyeshadow stays on all day long and it doesn't crease. Alright, so for eyeshadow today, we're actually going to use the Natasha Denona Eye Sculpt Texture and Tone Palette in Soft, mainly because I no longer have Sephora brand eyeshadows. But I also wanted to try out this palette finally, because I picked this up from the Natasha Denona website back in the fall, Black Friday sale, and I thought we could showcase this palette in this video because us Canadians are super happy that Natasha Denona is now back at Sephora Canada. Alright, so this is what the palette looks like. Like I said, this is the soft one. There's also is it called Dramatic? I think it's either dark or Dramatic. I have that one as well. But because I don't plan on picking up an eyeshadow palette during the Sephora Savings Event, I thought we'd save that palette for that look. So this palette is arranged into undertones. This column is R1, R2, R3 for reds, P1, P2, P3 for peaches, Y1, Y2, Y3 for yellows, C1, C2, C3 for cool tones, W1, W2, W3 for warm tones, and then N1, N2, N3 for neutrals. What are we feeling today? You know what? I think I'm going to start with the shade R2 and just an EO8 from Singe Beauty. So let's just get this shade in the brow bone area. Crease if you have one. I don't. Like, I have a fold in my lid, but that's nowhere near where my crease is. So I'll tell you some things about Japan. I guess the reason why I wanted to keep it all to one video is so that I don't repeat myself, so I don't bore you guys with a repeating story. But the interesting thing about Japan is I did not shop for makeup at all. Actually, I'm lying. I bought one lip gloss when I was out with my son. There was, I don't even know what the brand is called, but they did like a collab with Kamen Rider, which is an anime that my son used to love when he was teeny tiny. So he thought it was super cool that Kamen Rider had a lip gloss collab. So I picked up one of those lip gloss when I was out shopping with him. Aside from that, I mean, I did look at, what was it? Is it called Cosme? But I just, for some interesting reason, I just was not in the mood to shop for makeup on this trip. All right, now let's dip into the shade R3 with a MAC 217. Let's put down some pigment. So far, these mattes are what you'd expect from a Natasha Denona palette. They're soft, buttery, easy to blend, easy to work with. I'm going to see if C3 is deep enough. Starting at the outer corner. It's still kind of soft, just for my taste. But let's see if these shades are buildable. Feel kind of, right? I'm just going back in with a bit more of R2 and the EO8. Add some of the pink tone back to the top. Okay, so I think I want to go even deeper, but I can't decide if I want to do this shade or this shade. Let's try W3, just to see. I feel like this is working out as my outer corner deepening up shade, because I still wanted to keep this eye look on the soft side, my version of soft, and not necessarily make it too intense, not too dark. So I'm happy that this shade is working out and we don't have to dip into the N3, which is basically like a black. Back to the EO8 with R2. So we can soften out this edge. All right, let's try Y1 on a flat shader as an underbrow highlight. Yeah, like that. Now let's go back to R2 and another flat shader brush. And let's pop this in the empty space. Kind of starting it at the tear duct, or like the inner third. Now let's add R1 on Nikki's N23. And let's put that right in the inner corner. For concealer, we have the Best Skin Ever Multi-Use Concealer, and mine is in the shade 06Y. If I remember correctly, this I had quite a hard time swatching in store to see what my shade might be. I think I found everything to be too peachy, too dark, too, I don't know, like even, I normally do like a neutral, but I think I felt like this one might be the best. So we'll see after we blend it out. All right, just going in with an FO2 from Singe Beauty. I feel like it's blending out okay. What do you guys think? See, I still feel like this shade is just like a touch too dark. Well, not too dark, but it's just not brightening like I'm used to. I forgot my nose. Okay, but in terms of finish, I think I like the finish. The coverage is decent, I would say. I think for the price point, it's a pretty good concealer. It didn't go on super wet, but it's also not, I wouldn't call it drying either. But of course, we need to see how this wears throughout the day. But so far, I think it looks okay. What do you guys think? For contour, we're going to go in with the Sephora contour stick. Mine is in the shade light to medium. And this one I've had for a while and I quite like it. I'm just going to pick up some product with Nikki's N18. Give it a bit of a pre-blend on the back of my hand. So this contour stick I find quite easy to use. And I love the shade, like the tone of it. It's not too cool. It's not like a gray type of, even though it's a contour stick, it's, I find the shade to be quite neutral. Ooh. That's okay. This will blend out, I hope. Let's see, that's quite pretty, right? All right, on this side, let's just slap some on. And now for my nose, I'm just going to go in with Patrick Ta's nose contour brush. So yeah, coming back from Japan, it wasn't just the jet lag. I had the worst headache for a couple days at least, and I was having issues with my eyes. Like there was a lot of pressure. My vision was a little bit strained or blurry, and I'm not sure if that's because I've had laser eye surgery and just the pressure from being up in the airplane, the cabin pressure affects it. But yeah, look at that. It's so flattering. All right, now let's set the under eyes. We're going back in with the Blur It powder and in the shade Brightening Pink. I'm actually going to try out this cute little puff. So it has the netting in it. Can you guys see? I've heard great things about this powder. But sometimes I find with pink powders, even though they're supposedly brightening, they make my under eyes darker. I feel like that's what happened here. What do you guys think? Okay, so I'm actually going to switch back to my usual puff. Because as cute as that puff was, I found it to be a little too fat or thick. I'm just pushing the powder in further with Nikki's N14. Like, I do like the finish of this powder quite a bit. BK Beauty 102, just to brush off the excess. Okay, now let's finish up this eye look. Let's go back in with the shade W3 and just using an E25 from ColourPop, starting at the outer corner. Flat shader with R2 for the inner third of the lower lash line. And now let's take R2 on an EO8 from Singe Beauty so we can soften out the edge. And now for eyeliner, we're just going in with the Sephora 12 Hour Colorful Crayon in Black Lace. So I'm just going to tightline. And as you can see, this one's not new. I think this is my second or third one. I've repurchased this eyeliner a few times now. E12 from Singe Beauty. And let's just go ahead and line the lower lash line and the waterline. And just smudging it out with Nikki's N12. Alright, I just did mascara and I added a half lash. And for liquid liner, I went in with the Sephora Colorful Wink It Felt Liner. It's waterproof and in the shade 01 Little Black Dress. This one I used to use quite a bit a few years ago. There are other ones that I like better. This one does a decent job, but I feel like it's a bit wide. It's not as precise as some of the other felt tip liquid liners that I have. But again, for the price point, it's pretty good. For powder bronzer slash contour, we have two options. This is not new to me. I've had it for a while and I quite like this one. This one is the contour powder though, and in the shade light to medium. So it's basically just the powder version of the contour stick that I used previously. But I did pick up a Sephora brand matte bronzer, and this one is in the shade 02 Beach Bum Tan. I feel like it could be a little bit too warm for my liking, but let's try it out anyway. I'm just going in with the BK Beauty 104. Okay, let's see. It has a scent. Not strong, not overpowering, but you guys know me, I suck at talking about scents. Actually, this is not bad. It's not too warm. What do you guys think? I feel like it's a nice balance with the more cool toned cream contour stick that we used underneath. Okay, I kind of like this combo. Pleasantly surprised. But yeah, I'm curious to see what this bronzer looks like by itself without the cream contour underneath, because then I wonder if it would be too warm for my liking. I think that's quite pretty. What do you guys think? Alright, now for blush, I picked up the colorful blush in 01 Shame on You. This is what it looks like. And let's just go in with Nikki's N20. It's definitely buildable. I quite like this. Sorry, my eye's tearing. So if you guys see that little empty space, it's because, like I said, I've been having issues with my eyes, which is probably also why I haven't really been wearing makeup since I've been home. But I quite like this blush. What do you guys think? Pretty. Alright, now for highlighter, we have the Sephora Colorful Luminizer, and mine is in the shade 02 Sparkling Honey. So I'm just going to start with pooping some on the tip of my nose. This, again, is not new to me. I've had it for a while, and I quite like it. Cute, right? Okay, now let's take an F07 from Singe Beauty. Again, I don't think I've used this highlighter in quite a while. I do remember enjoying it, but I don't remember what it actually looks like on. See, just a nice, kind of subtle highlighter, and it doesn't emphasize my texture. Too much anyway. Okay, if you guys know me by now, I like to set my face before I do my lips. So we're going to go in with the Sephora Makeup Setting Spray, 16-hour wear, transfer-proof, sweat and humidity resistant with ginseng extract. So this isn't new to me. I got this a while ago. And again, for the price point, it does a pretty good job of locking in your makeup. Although I haven't used it in quite a while, so I don't remember how it is for my oily skin. But let's... Alright, for lips today, we have 3 options. This one is the Outrageous Plump Hydrating Lip Gloss and in the shade 02 XXL Nude. I haven't tried these out yet, so I'm pretty excited for this, because I've heard nothing but great things about this formula. It has a slight tingle, nothing too crazy. It's quite pretty, don't you guys think? It's quite thick, but it's not goopy at all. And now we have 2 glossed hydrating longwear lip glosses. This one is in the shade Money, and this one is in the shade #blessed. Let's try Money out first. This one has a shimmer to it. Ooh, how cool. And a bit of a shift, I think. This is a fun shade. What do you guys think? All right, and now let's try #blessed. Ooh, I like this. Have I tried this before? I can't remember. This lip gloss is very comfortable. I really, really like this shade. What do you guys think? Alright, so here it is. This is the final look using a full face of Sephora Collection products with the special guest star of the Natasha Denona Eye Sculpt Texture and Tone Palette in Soft. I am quite happy with how this look turned out. So far, I must say I am a fan of the foundation. I like the finish. I like how it feels on my skin. The concealer grew on me. I still feel like it's maybe just like a touch too dark. But I'd like to try it out with a different setting powder. Maybe that'll help. I'm definitely a fan of the powder bronzer, and even though I thought it was too orange or too warm to start out, I feel like it's pretty. Easy to use, soft, like dare I say natural looking. All 3 lip glosses I'm a super fan of. I love the shades. I love the way that it feels on my lips. I'm also very happy with the Natasha Denona palette, because quite honestly, I was on the fence about picking up those 2 palettes, but now that I've put them on my eyes, I'm happy that I did pick them up. I can't wait to try out the dramatic version. I'm so happy to finally get some makeup on my face, do a full look, get back into the routine of it all. I really, really like this full face of Sephora collection. And now we've come to the end of this video. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your day to hang out with me. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, or if it's nighttime for you, I hope you get a good night's rest. Happy shopping, everyone!